I really just care about people's stories. I believe there's something holy about people's stories. And we thought, what if we built a church around that concept of creating safe, empowering space for people to talk about and share what God is doing in their lives and in those of others.
When our family moved back home to Colorado Springs to launch Story Church, we wanted to build a culture that was founded on and around the story of Jesus and the stories of the people in this place.
As I think about it, that's really just what Jesus did. He seemed to pick some people with pretty wild backstories. So that's what we set out to do. And we had an idea that this might work, right? That people might be interested in that kind of a church. And we hoped that we'd be able to make a difference in our community beyond the four walls of this building and outside of just another Sunday morning service. We had no idea the story that God was going to be writing in and through that simple concept and a willing group of people.
Jesus seemed to care just as much about where people were coming from as where they were going. In fact, those are inexorably tied to each other. So when we launched March 7th, 2021, on the south side of Colorado Springs, right here in K-Land, we knew we were coming into an area already teeming with history, community pride, and limitless potential. We see our neighborhood kind of the same way Jesus sees individuals, as beautiful, valuable, and filled with potential and purpose.
The people that God has begun to form into a family here at Story Church are just as ragtag as anywhere else. But we're formed together with a specific purpose. So we got to work on building relationships and on partnerships and even on this physical space. And all of those exemplify the process of redeeming and making things new.
I really believe this is actually the vision we have for the south side of Colorado Springs and beyond. By not changing what was, but by incorporating and honoring what already is. Because harnessing the power of our individual and shared stories is the catalytic, contagious kind of energy we need to accomplish the dreams that we have moving forward. We see a city, a diverse and beautiful city in which lives are being changed by the power of God and community. We see the streets no longer plagued with gun violence or addiction or abuse, but instead are filled with families, neighbors, and friends. We see families reconciled. We see kids receiving all the same opportunities that our neighbors across the city enjoy. We see shot callers in the streets using their considerable influence for good. We see individuals having the courage to share their deepest secrets and dreams in a community that respects, honors, and values them enough to celebrate not just who they are, but who they can become as they experience the life, love, and power of Jesus.
It reminds me of Antioch, where the Apostle Paul was commissioned to his first missionary work in Asia by a diverse group of leaders. It was in Antioch that the followers of Jesus were first called Christians. It was in that seedbed of diversity and beauty and the power of God that people were called Christians for the first time. And it was in that environment that captured the hearts of a city in south central Turkey, a military town, a lot like ours. And I wonder if God wants to use this south side of Colorado Springs and K-Land and Pikes Peak Park and Hillside and downtown, etc., to reshape the imagination of a city about what a Christian really looks like. How we love one another, how we actually care for the needs of our neighbors, and how we also commission leaders who will go out and change the face of our city, our region, and our world. You and I are part of that story. It's God's, it's yours, and it's ours. And while we know that what we've seen so far is just that, so far, and it pales in comparison with the vision we believe God has given us to alter the history of our city. But we're incredibly grateful for what He's already done to get us this far. All of you who have or will have given, served, prayed, led, reached out, been vulnerable and shared your story. For all of you who have bled, sweat, prayed, and struggled with us to begin. We, all of us, we couldn't be here without you. Your willingness to give and be part of this is what makes it all possible. Not just for those of us that are here, but also for the people who aren't here yet. That's the paradox. We do exist for you. We exist for those people who are here now, but we also exist for the people who aren't here yet. Because it takes all of us here and all of us not yet here to accomplish this vision. We still have a lot of work to do. Don't rest now. Jump in, serve, pray, give, dig into community. Look to God as the author and perfecter of your and our shared faith. Let's go. Let's do this together. If there's one thing we've learned in this first chapter of Story Church, it's that this city needs you. your gifts, your talents, your energy, your story, because the next chapter begins now.